Yeah, we're back again to, this is kind of going to be an update real quick for the upcoming videos, because a lot has changed since a little bit of a trailer one I did, the last one, which most of you probably didn't watch because it was trailer orientated, not something else. However, there's still going to be a trailer one coming up. It'd probably be the last one for a while, but it's something that has to be done. So well, I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. Kind of bright out here today. Anyway, so I want to show you something real quick. This is all the parts that I have got so far. Yes, I've doubled these up, but I'll probably need them again, so I'm not going to charge him for them. Head bolts, Gen 4 lifter retainers, along with the active fuel management lifters and the regular lifters. One Gen 4 stock camshaft, along with that little you guys know what that is. It goes in the back of the block. I'll show you it when we do it. Thermostat, spark plugs, high volume, high pressure oil pump, timing chain set. Yes, it's all there. Spark plug wires, along with new bottom radiator hose, since that one's the one that's kind of boogered to replace, and one new water pump. This is just part of the stuff for that engine that I'm going to be building. It's a 2007 Gen 4 all aluminum 5.3. I can't remember the number of it off the top of my head, but it's come. He's actually supposed to have been bringing it to last month, but he's having trouble getting his secondary vehicle up and running. So this is just part of it. The rest of it, believe it or not, I'm not sure. I thought maybe I already brought it out here. Oh, obviously Rock Auto, not a sponsor, has been involved. I'm not seeing it in here either. I'm trying to remember what I did with it. Some of it's in here. There's the gasket set sitting there at the end of the table. I already have ring rod and main bearings, I believe. Just trying to remember where I put them. Probably still in the house, buried somewhere. Anyway, so I'm getting that together so I can get that engine built. That is just one of the many things that's going on. Here is something else. My trailer, the other day after I did the jack and stuff, the tire was pretty rough. I'll take you over and just show you. That one tire was pretty rough. I probably showed you on the video, maybe not. I had a bent axle before, and I fixed it and swapped the tires from front to back. And this tire was the one that was on it, and it was pretty thin on the one side. I kept it for a spare. I just don't have a wheel for it yet, so I did put a brand new 10-ply matching trailer tire on this. At the same time, while it was jacked up, I thought, well, I've never done the wheel bearings on the brake axle. I did on the front axle. I even replaced the hub on there. I've owned this thing 7 years. It sat in the field, and the next video, probably after this one, is going to be me working on this particular axle. You neglect these kind of things when you don't use them every day. You know, when you drive a car and something happens to it, you either have to fix it or you put up with it. In a case like this, you got to have it when you got to have it. And other people's use it, I use it, you know, and the next thing you know, it's sitting on the side of the road with a bearing bad, or, you know, the lights are working or whatever it is. So I looked at the bearings on this. The bearings were bad. The brake never worked on this side. They were unwired when I got it. I wired them up. The brake still never worked on this side, but it did on the other side till a couple years ago. And now it doesn't work. So I thought I would look into it. You'll get to see it. I put new bearings on it. All it has is moved up and down the driveway once on just this side. I haven't even messed with the other side. And I finally just said, you know what, the brake's not fixable. Place here in town does not carry brake parts anymore. And although I could have went somewhere else to get them, I didn't. I just ordered them off of eBay. So it was $85 shipping, but it was only 156 bucks for, there's two of them here. Trust me, the box underneath too. This is your bearings and you know, everything to put it together. And put this aside. And of course you got a new drum, new wheel studs. Hang on, oh, kind of heavy. Let's see if I can reach in there. You already got the races in, which is nice too. Okay, let me put you on the tripod for just a second. And people are still texting me, and you're probably looking at the side of the car. Okay, I'll get you out there. But I ordered the whole system. That's the entire brake system, back plate, and everything. And I'll show you how these work when we do the video. But I got both of them for that axle. So for the for both sides. Okay, with that said, I was talking to my wife, and I told her, I said I kind of started putting on paper what it was going to cost to do the V8 swap 5-speed and this with the the 8-inch axle and the brakes and everything like that. And she made a comment that hurt, probably needed to be said. She said, you might as well sell it. I'm not going to you're not going to get it done till I'm 70 anyway. So with me having the car disease, it's very difficult to pass up working on something, doing something to something else, somebody else's, whatever it is, and I did not do it myself. So with that said, I said I better change my thinking. So I bought a set of Wilwood 4-piston caliper brakes. The rotors are in them boxes. I can show you real quick. One's underneath it. And here's all the rest of the stuff. Got the hoses, bolts, mounting plates, brake pads. Oh, this is bearings and races and everything. Here are the calipers. I did not get them painted red. You had that option, but it is a 4-piston caliper, which I'm not going to pull out of the bag. Believe me, someday we'll do a video on that. And since it has a 6-cylinder in it and the thing is sagging all the way around, I got new V8 springs for it. These are the isolators and shock mounts. I believe that's what these are. I got to get the instructions out or just look. I don't know. Upper A-arms, lower A-arms. I still have to get some other stuff for it, but this was a start. I have the 5 lug drum spindles already, which is required to put this kit on. So we're gonna get on the Mustang pretty soon. I'm gonna get the parts together first. I'm not gonna jump into it and have the thing not be able to move. For just like, well, similar to this one, I'm not gonna do 2 of them in here, and so but I am starting to get parts together. And just to show you those parts, the brakes, and the parts for there for that. Like I said, I don't have them all here. That some of them must be in a house, but all of them for this 5.3 build was $2,500. I butchered the old credit card this month, so none of this stuff is cheap, and some of it's even getting worse. The lifters, I went with Elgin. I really would rather use Melling, but the thing already has 300,000 miles on it. How much more he's going to get out of this truck? Another 100,000, maybe 150 before it starts having other issues. Rear end, transmission, transfer case, the normal stuff that goes bad with them. But with that said, it's I don't know. I've actually lost my train of thought. But either way, you can get so much money wrapped up into this stuff, and the stuff that has gone up exponentially in cost are the lifters. If you buy the Melling lifters, and I'm talking about even through Rock Auto and stuff, if you buy the standard lifters plus the active fuel management lifters, and you get the Melling ones, I think they were $500 to get them to the house, and that was even through Rock Auto. I think maybe that, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was through Rock Auto. And I found these, I think eBay, and they were the Elgin with the lifter pockets. They were still $300 or something like that. The oil pump was high volume, high pressure, which you have to put the springs in. They come with the springs. They come standard. You got to do it. I'll show you that when we do it. That was expensive. The water pumps are expensive. If you want an AC Delco, they're expensive. So when I find a deal, I try to jump on it. And here's the deal of the day. You're looking at a 2002 6-liter Gen 3. This one was the first one I put in that Suburban, the silver one over there, or you want to call it pewter. And it's come up with a funny noise after about a year or so, so I took it out and put another one in it. This one sat here for a while. I sold it to a guy. I got it back from him, then he ended up back with it. Now I got it back. It's how it works. Sometimes you swap back and forth. So That was the one the guy, he actually owed it to me because we did some swapping on stuff. However, he said, hey, I have another engine and some parts if you're interested in it. I said, well, bring them over, let's take a look at it. So he brings me over. I'm not going to open it up. It looks just like this, just without the heads on it, because the heads are laying there on the floor because it was so heavy to pick up. But inside this transmission case is a 2002 LQ9. This one is an LQ4. This is an LQ9. Those of you who know Gen 3 6.0s, the only difference between the LQ4 and the LQ9 was that they came in the Cadillacs and some of the higher you know, more, what I'm going to say, the higher dollar ones up front. They came in the Escalades, like I said, and a couple of the other, I think some of the, maybe the GMC Denali's or whatever they were may have had it. But either way, it doesn't make a difference. It's not aluminum, it's still cast block. The only difference between the two was the LQ9 had flat top piston stocks. They were 10-to-1 approximately, and these were dish pistons in the LQ4s, which were in the trucks and most of the other engines, and they were 9.3-to-1, I believe, somewhere in that range. Well, anyway, he brings this thing over. He brings me over seal power, main bearings, rings, a water pump, what is this? Oh, this is just bolts. A high volume, high pressure oil pump, rod bearings, and cam bearings, plus the engine. I paid, let's see, what did I pay for that? $420 for everything there. That one, like I said, was already mine. 420 bucks is what I paid for this. I got a pretty good deal because that water pump itself it's over 100 bucks. I don't think it's an AC Delco, so it's probably 100 bucks. I really don't know what manufacturer it is. At the Melling oil pump, you guys know the high pressure, high volume are expensive. They're 130 or 50, whatever they are. And even though they're seal power, they're still good enough to run. I would still run them. So I thought I'd come up pretty good on it. So now I have, with the one in my pickup, 4 6.0s because there's still the one in the Suburban I got to pull. So anyway, that is the update. I will be building these. The one in the Suburban had piston slap in it pretty bad. It's an 04 6-liter, and so what I'm going to do to it is I have a set of 20 over, excuse me, the machine shop that I use has a set of 20 over flat top pistons, so I'm going to do that and have the heads going through, and I'll probably put an LS6 cam in. I don't want anything big because it's going back in my truck. I don't want a cam so big that the 6,000 pound truck doesn't move until it hits 5,000 RPM. I don't need that, but with a little bit of bore and a 10-to-1 compression, and I'll put the 80 millimeter throttle body, and I don't know if I'll decat it or not, but it's definitely going to have better exhaust. It's pretty loud now, and some other stuff. I think we'll go ahead and be able to pull close to 400 horse. I figure 375, 400, and close to the same torque. So I think that'll be a good combination with LS6 cam and springs. Like I said, some people are going to say, no, you need a truck cam. Some of them say, no, you need a bigger cam. And the problem is the truck's so heavy and it doesn't seem to make a lot of power down low anyway. I mean, it does, don't get me wrong, but it's when you got a load, you know it's there. So that's why we're going to do something a little different. And the 6.0 out of my truck has always used oil and has always used antifreeze. I think it's got a cracked head. So what I may do with it, because it has such good oil pressure and has low mileage and runs only got 158,000, to me that's kind of low mileage. I may go through it, put a set of rings and rod main bearing, the normal stuff you would do is clean it up, and maybe put a set of LS6 heads on it with the same cam, and that may be the one my son-in-law gets in his 05 Chevy truck. We'll see, but that is a good combination for a truck two-wheel drive like his extended cab. You know, it'll give him because putting LS6 heads on it will also up the compression, and you know, we'll kind of play that by ear. The other one, this one here, was actually the one that was going to be his, but I may go through that one. I'm not sure what I'll do with it, whether it be just a stock rebuild ready to go into something, or maybe I'll sell it. I don't know yet. There's people who seem to be wanting it, but the one that's already got the flat top pistons in it, I'll take it apart, see what's, I mean, it doesn't have an oil pan, and obviously the heads are off of it, so I'll take a look at it, see what it shows. Just judging by looking at the head, looks like this one cylinder here, if you can see, it's a little shinier than the other, so that tells me it either had too much fuel or oil, possible sucking through it. I don't know how many miles are on it. You know, when you get these engines, I'm sure it was a core return, or he picked it up at swap meet. I don't know. I didn't ask him. So we'll deal with that, you know, another time. But either way, this is what we got. This is what we're doing. And you know what? That Rock Auto box right there might be the ones with all the rest of the parts in it. I don't know. I'll have to see. I just don't remember what to do with all the parts. They're around. I didn't go. My wife wanted these out of the house because, boy, they were I had a big pile in the den. So anyway, so we're going to get started on some LS stuff as soon as the trailer is done. The BMW, I got a hold of, if anybody watches Hoovie's Garage or Watch Jericho, they deal with Johnny, the car ninja. It's actually German motor. I can't remember the name of his company. It's up in Wichita. I contacted them yesterday. I'm taking this up Thursday next week. Today is Saturday, and see if they can get the security system done on it. There's a couple things I need to do besides the trailer. I need to get a new battery for it because the batteries are in it. It's always, all the BMWs I've ever had draws on the battery, and sure enough, this is no different. And I think it's the alternator, because this car did not have a draw at all until I put the alternator from the blue car in it, and it always had a draw, and now this one does too. So it must be something in the regulator or something in the charging system. That's just a guess on my part. But the battery was in this thing for a long time, and it would still crank. So I put this battery back in, and it only lasts a day or two, and it draws it down. The battery's not super great, but I do have it's got a warranty on it, so we'll get a new battery for it. So anyway, guys, tired of talking. I'm sure you're tired of listening, but we have LS stuff coming. I promise you, LS stuff coming. And so the trailer will be next. After this video, the trailer will be next, and then hopefully his stuff will be here, his pickup, and we're going to start tearing an aluminum 5.3 Gen 4 apart, and we'll make her go vroom.